In today's class, you will learn how to make money by doing product reviews through the Amazon Influencer Program. Who's in? Let's do this. Hey, what's going on, my fellow and future millionaires? Stop. You guys are so good to me. In today's class, taught by Professor Christensen, he's actually really a professor. We are going to be talking about the Amazon Influencer Program and how you can make a few K on the side by reviewing products that might just be lying around your house. Tyler's an amazing guy with a wealth of knowledge. I heard him on a podcast and I had to connect with him. We've talked several times. He's a super cool family dude. We actually found out that we both went to the same school, although I think he finished and I didn't. But I still love the Cougars. At the end, stay tuned for a special bonus discussion. The record button was still left on and we were talking about our kids and how to teach your kids about money and responsibility. And we got into some pretty cool stuff. So I decided to include it as a special bonus section. All right, well, enough with the chit chat. Let's get to it then. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the one, the only, Tyler Christensen.
We were there at the same time as Mark Rober and Napoleon Dynamite and never met those guys, but but we were there, you know.
If you were the professor, I would absolutely send my kids.
I think we agree on a lot of your reasons for things that are wrong with higher education and education in general. But I love being a teacher, and so do you. That's why you're here, you know, and so we share that.
Absolutely.
As I mentioned, I am a teacher and I have been for over 20 years and I love teaching. It's my dream job. It's what I feel I was put on the earth to do. And we know that all teachers are overpaid and overappreciated.
Oh yeah, way overpaid.
We don't make enough money. And so teachers need to do other things to supplement their income. And most teachers do that through summer jobs, you know, working at a restaurant, doing driver's ed, stuff like that. But I decided really early on that I had other skills. And so I started building websites for celebrities. I created my own YouTube channels and podcasts and did stuff like that. I did sports writing. I wrote a few books. So I've dabbled in a lot of different things. One of the things that I started 5 or 6 years ago was doing product reviews. We moved across the country and I thought I had a job in the bag and then I didn't. And so we were struggling financially. And Christmas was coming up and I didn't have anything to give my kids. And so my brother reminded me that he had been doing product reviews for a while. He's like, you can at least get some free stuff, give it to your kids. And so I finally followed his advice. He'd been asking me to do this for months. And I looked into it. I worked with a company that would connect influencers with brands. And I wasn't an influencer at the time, but I hurried and built up a social media following as quick as I could. And they sent me free stuff and I gave it to my kids. And from there, the brand grew and more people sent me stuff. And so for the last 5-6 years, I don't do a ton of product reviews, or I didn't until I started what we'll talk about next with the influencer program. But I would review a few things each month, and sometimes I'd get paid, sometimes I'd get it for free. But I found it was really cool because in a small way, it would supplement my income. And I think most people, when it comes to improving your quality of living, you want 1 to 5% on top of inflation. And then you're living pretty comfortably because you have more than you had in the past. And that's what product reviews has done for me, is given me a few extra $1,000s a year. A lot of my other side hustles have done the same thing. And so even though I'm a teacher, I live pretty comfortably. But what happened is this kept building up and I did more and more reviews. I got better at it. So people started sending me nicer things. And it was really cool because I had more than I needed. So I could give a lot away, which is cool when you're a teacher and you see people in need. Most teachers can't donate generously, but I could with my own students and other people in the community. And then about a year ago, again, the same brother that got me into product reviews, he told me about the Amazon Influencer Program. And I applied and was rejected and didn't think about it anymore. But he kept making more and more money in the program. He's like, you got to apply again. You got to apply again. So I did. And I was accepted at the end of last summer. But even then, once you're accepted, they like pre-qualify you. So you apply and you have to have some influence, meaning you have to have some sort of social media following. And if it's big enough, and no one knows what big enough is because Amazon won't tell you, but if it's big enough, they'll accept you into the program. So you're pre-qualified, but then you have to upload 3 videos and they have to pass their whatever their minimum threshold is. And then they'll accept you for on-site commissions. And that's what you really want. So that second level, after you've been into the program, then you have to get in again because your videos have to be good enough. And that happened for me last November. So I've only been in the program a little over 6 months now, but I started just using the videos I'd already made and posted on YouTube. I just moved them over to Amazon. And because of that, I was making money right away. Like when you do a blog or a YouTube channel, it takes months and months and months. And then you get a 7-cent commission and you celebrate and it's awesome. With Amazon Influencer, on your first day, you can make $50. So it's very different in that regard. If you've already created content, or if you can create content quickly that's useful, you can scale up relatively quickly with the influencer program. So that's how I kind of got into it. We can talk more about what the actual influencer program is, but that's kind of my origin story.
So let's do this. Let's pretend like you're teaching my 17-year-old son. What would you teach him? Like, what's the step-by-step that you would teach him or anyone who wants to get into this? Sounds like from what I was talking, you're able to make a few $1,000s on the side per month, which for my son, that would be huge.
And let me clarify, it can supplement or it can be life-changing money. I actually make more money now from doing product reviews than I do from my salary as a teacher.
Oh, wow.
So it can make really good money if you're willing to put in the work. I get this question all the time, how do I get started? The great thing about the Amazon Influencer program is most people are semi-familiar with affiliate marketing. The idea that you take someone's product, you sell that for them, or you build an audience and you put it in front of an audience. And if your audience buys that thing, you get a small commission. And with digital products and courses and things like that, sometimes the commissions are really good. It can be 50% or higher. With Amazon has an affiliate program called Amazon Associates, and their commissions aren't very high. It's like 2%, 4%. But if you're selling enough things, then you can make some good money with the Amazon Associates program. And anyone can get into that program. So the first step is, if you're not already an Amazon associate, just Google Amazon Associates, get signed up, you'll get in the program, and you can start putting videos on YouTube or anywhere else linked to the product. And if people buy it, then you're going to make a commission. So that's step one.
So you could literally tell your mom, hey, I'm an Amazon associate, buy through my link, and I'll make 2%.
You can. However, Amazon's pretty savvy to marketing to family and friends. And they know if you're like related or have a connection, sometimes they don't give you that commission and you don't want to take advantage of that.
Yeah, so, I just wanted to understand, the rules around it. The idea is you can be an associate, which is like affiliate marketing, essentially. That's what they call it. And you can get commissions, but it's not supposed to be to like your friends or family or the people that would be buying that anyway.
Otherwise, I would just buy everything I ever bought through my own link.
Exactly. I was like, why don't you do that? Okay, continue.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Okay.
So now the difference between Amazon Associates and Amazon Influencer is you have to be an influencer, meaning that you have to have some sort of social following. Again, this is a really cool thing that Amazon does is they don't penalize you for applying and getting rejected.
Okay,
like you can apply as many times as you want.
Just go
so
for it.
If you think you have enough following on YouTube or TikTok or Facebook or anywhere, you apply, you link your account where people are following you. And if Amazon thinks it's enough, then you get into the program. And I've heard different numbers out there. I have a friend that just got in with just a couple thousand on Instagram. I've heard people get in with 50 TikTok followers.
Wow.
So I think part of it's how engaged your followers are. But again, I don't know kind of what that threshold is.
So just Google like Amazon Influencer Program, and then you'll see where to apply.
Yeah, it's really, really easy.
Okay.
And apply as many times as you need. Now, if to your son, if he applies and doesn't get in, then you have to build up more of a social following. Okay. The way I would do that, thinking I want to be in the influencer program, is I would start creating content around products. And so I would start a YouTube channel or perhaps do it on a different platform. I'm more comfortable with YouTube, but just start doing product reviews and say, this is something I own. This is why I like it, and start putting it out there. People will search for that. And so you do get some organic search through YouTube.
Cool.
And so if people are looking for that product, they're going to find it. They might click on your affiliate link. So even before you're in the influencer program, you can make money through the associate program, and you just start building that up. Now,
and then you're growing your YouTube channel as well, even though it takes a long time to make money. Maybe eventually that could be something that you could make money from too.
Right. And again, that might be a blessing because say you don't get accepted into the influencer program, but now you have 100 videos ready to go. When you do get accepted, now you move all those videos onto Amazon. You can use the same videos you have on YouTube on Amazon. And from day one, they can make you money.
Cool.
So
just keep those on your computer, basically, like the files, right? Keep the Keep everything in order so it's easy to move over. Okay.
Or buy a really nice external hard drive and then do a review for it.
Yeah, there you go.
and keep it there. That's actually what I did. And that review has made me hundreds of dollars. So it was worth it.
Okay, so you get accepted. If you don't get accepted, keep trying until you get accepted.
And then once you're accepted in the program, you do have to upload 3 videos, and then those have to be approved for on-site commissions. Now, from what I've heard from others, my videos got approved right away. And I think part of it's because I was good at making videos. I'd done it for a while on YouTube. Mine were a little more highly produced, which we'll come to this later, but most of the time when you do product reviews, you don't want them to be very highly produced. You want them to look like you're just in your basement reviewing something, giving an honest customer review. And it should be an honest customer review. But to apply for the program for on-site commissions, you might want to have a music track in the background, with royalty-free music. You might want to have some B-roll. You might want to show different angles, things that you wouldn't necessarily do for all your videos once you're in, but for those first 3 videos, you want it to look professional.
Got it. Okay. So put a little more time in those first 3. Okay.
Yeah. And then they either accept you or they don't. Now with those 3 videos, it is a 3 strikes and you're out policy. So you upload 3 videos, and if they approve it, you're in. If they don't, you get 2 more tries. Once you do your 3rd try, if it's not accepted, then you have to restart over on a different Amazon account. So you would have to create a new Prime account or whatever. Okay. So you want to make sure you get in. And that's it. That's how you get into the program. That's how you get started.
So you get paid 2 to 3% for an associate. How about the influencer program? What are you getting paid there?
It's similar numbers. So it depends on the category. Things like beauty, like makeup and stuff like that, that pays a much higher rate. It's like 8%. Technology is like 1%.
Okay.
Our bread and butter is household items, and that's right in the 3 to 4% range.
The numbers are the same, but the difference is you're literally getting paid by Amazon's own customers.
It's almost the opposite of all other affiliate marketing, where you are generating an audience and giving someone else's product to that audience. With the influencer program, they already have the platform. They already have the audience. You're not doing any marketing. You don't have to have any experience with advertising or anything like that. Obviously, you still want to understand sales, because the better that your video converts, the more money you're going to make. It's funny because it's called an influencer program, but once you're into the program, it doesn't matter what your audience is like, because it's Amazon's audience. You're not bringing anyone onto the platform to look at those videos. They're already there searching for products. You're just helping them say yes to something they already want.
Okay, so you're in the program. I know you got to make videos, but where do you start?
Again, this is really interesting. You would think that you want really highly produced, great videos that show all the features and have some snappy transitions, and you bring in a great personality. You don't need any of that. What you need is a product, and you need to tell people why they should purchase that product. A lot of influencers will look through the questions on the Amazon product page. What are people asking about? You watch the other videos that are already there, and then you just solve a problem for the customer. You say, for example, I had a trifold mattress that I bought. All I did was I unfolded it. I'm a big guy. I laid down on it so people could see how big I was on the mattress. I talked about it for 30 seconds and I said, this is comfortable. I love it in the guest bedroom and for camping. I gave a few instances, 0 B-roll, 0 music track. It was literally selfie mode on my camera. And that video made me $600.
Wow. Do you buy things on Amazon? Do you go around your house?
Yeah, you would be surprised. I thought when I started the program late last year, I was like, well, I'll just go through everything in my Amazon history and see what I still have and review those things. And I came up with a few hundred things. I'm old, so I've been buying from Amazon for a while. But a lot of people will say, no, you need to put money back into the business. You need to find the best selling products and purchase those. And certainly you can do that. Yeah. But if you want to put $0 into this business and just go throughout your house, I've done over 500 videos that way. Wow. And I have another 500 I could easily do. Like I went through my closet last week and I reviewed 30 shirts.
Really?
And they're all for sale on Amazon. And I just made short videos. And I can do that this week with my pants, right? And my shorts.
That's awesome. We're getting rid of so much stuff right now because we're moving. So we got to review it all before we get rid of it.
Well, and it's funny you say that because that's exactly what I did. My wife's out of the country right now. And one of my goals while she was gone is I need to clean up our room and economize some space. So I took all of my storage and anything that I had, anything clothing related, I got it all out and trashed my room. I put it everywhere and I reviewed it. And then I threw it in a throwaway pile or a thrift store pile or put it in my closet, but I'm too fat to wear it pile. I came up with these 4 piles and I eliminated a ton of clothes, but I did the review first so I can capitalize on it.
This shirt was amazing. Trash.
Yep, that's exactly what I did.
Yeah, my brain's going.
And you will find the more reviews you do, you'll find out which reviews are selling well for you, and you'll double down on those. You will find that there are things that sell better than others. And so most influencers have strategies for how to pick products. And while I don't buy things just to review, my buying habits have certainly changed. So if I need to buy something new, I'm going to look on Amazon first and see, could I potentially make a video that's going to make a lot of money? So I'm looking at the bestseller list. I'm looking at how many other videos have already been created for that product. I'm looking at, are they getting good customer reviews? And if all those things come together, then I'm way more likely to make that purchase than something else.
So it's like supply and demand. You're seeing how many people are buying it. And then also how expensive is the item, right? Because you get paid a percentage, but also then you're buying an expensive item if you're buying it, right?
Yeah, if you have a lot of money and you can dump it into this, like if I could invest $10,000 today and get all items of $100 or more, then my daily earnings would go from like $100 a day up to $500 a day overnight.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you have money to put in, you can make more money.
I'm a big ROI guy. So you're saying if you put in $10,000, you think you could make an extra $500 a day from that, more or less?
Yeah. If you buy the right products
that's insane.
I mean,
because within a month, you get your money back.
Yeah. The only problem with that, though, is it is getting saturated and there are more and more people making videos on the same products and there's only so many spots and you can lose your spot. So if a new video comes up,
so you're taking a risk.
You might fall off.
You're taking a risk, right?
Yeah.
But still, I might hit you up after this time. I might be like, hey, how much money do you want? You go buy all the stuff. And then give me half the profit.
Yeah. So it's interesting because we have actually run experiments with our children. So my 17-year-old, he wanted some new stuff. We don't get fancy stuff all the time.
Yeah.
And so we told our kids, we'll put 10% back into it. We want to mostly save up, build up our buffers in the bank, pay for real estate, stuff like that. But we thought we could put 10% back into it. So we save up for a couple months and then we go on a shopping spree and we track the results and our kids have a budget. So my 17-year-old can spend $150 and he can get whatever he wants, but we give him the criteria. And the goal is to make your money back within a month so we can do another shopping spree next month. And typically we don't make it back right within a month. It takes a little bit more than a month, but we're good enough at picking the right products now that within 2 or 3 months, we always make our money back.
But if you make it back even in a year, that's 100% return on your money and you still have the product.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And we have a lot of nice stuff now.
The thing is that I need to wrap my brain around is it's not like it'll continue month after month after month. Like it's not like, let's say you do make 100% of your money back in a month. It's not like you're going to make 100% of your money back every single month to where you're getting like 1,000% ROI over the year.
Right. There was some hope that that would happen because there was a lot of consistency in the program, but Amazon can make changes whenever they want to. They own that platform. People talk about May 16th being Amazon Armageddon because just a few weeks ago, they made some changes where now they're trying to push vertical video instead of horizontal video. And the Inspire app that just came out, and I don't know a lot about that. But what influencers saw was a lot of their earnings were cut in half overnight.
Oh, okay.
And so Amazon makes changes and it impacts you. And it certainly did for me. And so you can learn and do the right kinds of videos and adapt and make more money in the future. Or you can double down and just make more videos and still make money. Or you can do what a lot of people do, which is get frustrated and fizzle out. And so thank goodness for that, because then there's less competition. That's the hardest part of the influencer program, is there isn't a lot of transparency on what Amazon wants and what you're consistently going to see over the long term, because they're tinkering on their end and they don't tell us about it.
Sure.
And so that is kind of frustrating.
Sure. I mean, it's like any business that if you don't 100% own all the things and moving on things, it's a lot harder to own all that stuff and make it happen. But it's pretty easy to get into, it sounds like. And especially if you're using stuff that you already have, there's no risk there, or stuff that you would be buying anyway. Can you go to like friend's house and review their stuff? I mean,
you can. And there's a lot of this gray area where it's technically within the terms of service. Can you go to Home Depot and record things off the shelf? Can you go to your grandma's house with things you've never used? You can. Do you feel comfortable saying this is an honest review if you've never actually used the product?
Yeah.
And so a lot of people go under fire in Reddit or in Facebook groups because they're doing things that are kind of shady. And sometimes those accounts are shut down. But you can, and we've done this when we're visiting with friends. If they have a product that I've used before, and actually, I don't know if I've ever done it with friends. I have done it with my brother once, where we were up at his house for a week, and I was like, I've used this all week long. Maybe I'll do a review. And he's like, yeah, go for it.
Totally.
And so you can do stuff like that.
Something you've used. But if you're signing up for the influencer program, it has to be a video from you. You can't record a friend reviewing something.
That's another gray area.
Okay, so I'm not trying to go in the gray area. I'm just asking the questions, right? It's like with taxes, sometimes there's gray area, but if it's not a gray, I at least want to know if it's a gray area or not, So
yeah, it's really rare that you would see that. However, if you went to my channel, you'd see that it's not me doing all the reviews because I involve my wife and my kids. Like if it's my children, I'll be in the shot with them. I don't want them just being on camera, but you can do it that way. There are companies out there, and you'll see this if you look at all the videos on Amazon. There's one called WTI, and they have thousands and thousands of videos, and it's different people doing the reviews. So I can only assume that that's a business that hires people to create reviews for them, and then they figure out how to do the cut and do taxes and stuff like that. But there aren't a ton of companies that do that. There's just a handful.
Yeah, tell my kids, man, all right, go make some money. Let's go. Take all the stuff we already have, review it.
Well, and it's fun because as I do it as a business, I can hire my kids. So you can tell your kids, but one of the great things about doing this as a business is I can involve my kids. And so they can go get a job at Taco Bell, or they can mow lawns, and they do those things. But they can also work for me. And some of my kids love this and some don't. But I can tell my 9-year-old, hey, I have some reviews coming in. Do you want to be the model for those reviews? I'll give you a small cut so you make $5 or whatever. And she loves that she can make money, be YouTube famous, do all the things, right? And so that's a really cool opportunity for kids. With my 17-year-old, it's great because I don't have him on camera on a lot of the videos, but I'll get some really nice things, a desk or a canopy or a bounce house. And I don't want to install it. I don't want to set it up. And I can just pay my son and say, hey, can you just put this together for me? I'll put it on time lapse of you installing it. My time is more valuable than his time as far as dollars. And so I hire him. He does that labor for me. We get the videos done. And one thing we haven't talked about yet is people sending us things for a commission. And my kids really help with those things. So even if Amazon's not paying me, I'm making money through Amazon sellers because other companies are paying me now.
So, okay, let's get into that. I love the things you're saying. My mind is spinning on that. How do you get paid from other people other than Amazon?
You can do outbound marketing. And I've done this. When I was a 5th grade teacher, I wanted specific things to give away to my students for class auctions and things like that. So I would write to musical instrument companies asking for ukuleles and guitars. I'd write to drone companies saying, hey, I just need these for an auction. I'll make a good YouTube video for you. So you can do outbound marketing. It's not the best way to do it because most people won't respond. Your numbers are low on that. The more you do it, the more success you'll have. What's more likely is just post videos on Amazon Influencer, and pretty soon people start emailing you and say, I'm the CEO of this company, or I'm a brand marketer or whatever. So different people will reach out to you. They'll find you through your Amazon Influencer storefront, which will link to different social media accounts. And then as long as your email's somewhere in there, or they'll message you on Facebook or something like that, then they'll say, hey, we'd like to collaborate with you. We saw that you did a review on this product from our competitor. We have a similar product. Would you like to review it? And then as an influencer, you have a few decisions. You can just say no if it's a product you're not interested in. You can say yes if you have a budget for commissions. So if you'll pay me $50, then I'll review it. Or if it's something you really want, then you say, sure, I'd love to review this for you. And the more videos you have up, the more people reach out. In fact, before this interview, I looked just in the last day. So since this time yesterday, I've gotten 16 emails.
Wow.
And of those 16 emails, half of them were new requests. And if I said yes to all of those, I'd make about $500. And so I can make a full-time living without Amazon Influencer, just working from the sellers. You can make good money if you say yes. Now, I don't say yes to 99% of the things that are asked of me, because I don't want extra stuff lying around in my house that doesn't do me or anyone else any good. If I can't make an honest review about something I like about the product, I don't want to review it. And so I'm pretty picky, but I still make several $100s a week doing reviews for other brands, for other sellers. And so that's a really cool way to supplement what you're already doing in the influencer program and getting paid up front instead of after 60 days seeing how much you make through the influencer program.
So they're paying you to send you something for free and then review it?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And then to get paid again from Amazon. And sometimes they'll pay you multiple times. So for example, I did some headphones last month and they paid me $35 to review the headphones. The headphones started selling like crazy on Amazon. So I'm making $5 a day.
Wow.
But then they didn't have a branded video of those headphones for their Amazon page where they said, this is the first video. So they wrote back to me and said, can we buy your video off you? Which means I'm going to make less over the long tail because I don't own that video anymore. And so I'm not going to get paid from Amazon. Or maybe I leave that up. I make them a separate video that they can use branded. But if they're going to give me $200-$300, then it might be worth it to take the cash now and lose the rights to that video.
That's awesome, man. So I'm hearing all kinds of things here. You can make money from Amazon. You can get free stuff and get paid to get the free stuff from people who want you to make a video for them. And then you can also put that stuff on YouTube or social media. And it takes time, but over time, you can get paid by YouTube. I love it, man. I think it's cool.
Yeah, it is really cool. Some people also will buy things specifically for review and then resell it on eBay or on Facebook Marketplace. I have not done that because I only get things that I want or want to give away. But I know there are a lot of people who make a lot of money with the influencer program who are buying those expensive things and then turning around and reselling them. So you can do that. It doesn't violate terms of services.
Okay.
I just don't do that.
That's pretty cool. And then, like you were saying, there's a lot of times you might want this thing, but you're like, do I want to pay for it? And you're like, well, I'll just get it, do a review, and then potentially could pay for itself.
It's a little bit of a gamble.
Yeah.
We did that a few months ago. We wanted to upgrade all of our beds in the house. And beds cost a little bit more for mattresses and things like that. But we thought, we've made enough money. Let's see if we can get a bed in the box, which is a little sketch. Going off Amazon to get a bed. Normally, you want to go lie down on it and test it out. So we just did a few mattresses. So we did honest reviews for them. We tried them out for a few weeks. We said what we liked and what we didn't like. Turns out we didn't keep any of those mattresses. We gave them away. They weren't exactly what we wanted. But we made enough money in 1 month. We made several $1,000s.
Crazy.
So then we could go to the store in town, buy a brand new bed that we've wanted to get for years. And so we've upgraded our life through the influencer program, even though we didn't keep the products.
I love it, man. Any final parting words that you want to share with anyone, either about the program and or just inspirational words to anyone out there who wants to make more money, who wants to start a business, who wants to improve their life in any way?
Well, I know because I've listened to several of your episodes. What you'll see in any business is up front, you have to put in a lot of work and it's hard. I think a lot of people will hear an episode like this and think, well, this is really easy. I can just turn in 30 reviews, start making money from day one. And you can, but eventually that's going to trail off and you're going to wish that you still had the money that you had on day one. And so I think you have to go into this expecting to work hard, getting better at what you do, research the different things. I'm watching videos every day and getting in the subreddit to learn what's working for other people. And yeah, as you do that, the pay goes up and it's really great. And it has become life-changing money for us. But it's also been a lot of work. I'm putting in right now, it's our summer break as teachers, and I'm still teaching 7 classes this summer.
Wow.
But I'm also working 20 to 40 hours a week as an influencer. So I'm working really, really hard. 4 a.m. I'm up doing research, and you don't have to do that. You can do like I did in the beginning, 2 or 3 hours a week and make an extra $500 a month. You can do that. But if you want to scale up, you're going to have to put in some work.
We appreciate those words. That's very true. This show is not about what are the get rich quick things. Everything that's worth anything takes time, takes effort. Ty, we really appreciate everything you're doing for the kids that you work with, for the community, the entrepreneurial community, but also you just give back. I've seen a lot of assemblies that you've done. So just thank you for what you do, man. You seem like an awesome person, and I look forward to getting to know you better. Hopefully this summer you come out and see us, right? Do a beach trip.
That would be awesome. Yeah, well, appreciate your time today. I love your show. I love what you're trying to do. Although college is still a good option for a lot of people. So
I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. No, I agree. Hey, look, literally, my wife and I are talking about this right now with our 17-year-old son. We're going to travel for a year. Then he's going to go on his church mission. And then it's kind of like, is he going to go to college or is he going to start his own business or whatever? And I don't know. It's hard to get him to do his chores, right? So I don't know if he will do college, but we at least want him to be in an environment with other people his age. And especially you and I have the same faith, for him to be around other kids with a similar faith. I think there's a lot of value there, but we'll just kind of see how it goes. Maybe he'll go and be around people like that, but then do his own business. Or maybe by then we'll have started like an actual physical Millionaire University school. If I didn't think it was needed, then I probably wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. I would probably just be like, yeah, okay, you go learn. But I'm like, no, there needs to be this thing in the middle for kids who aren't naturally just going to go out and do all the research on their own and start a business. I think having that community, having that support, I think is huge. I just wish there was a little more choice for the kids. If you were my teacher, I'm in every day. But not all my teachers were like you. I'm not judging them. I think they're doing their best. But it's like, I didn't get a pick. You like listen to a lot of podcasts, right? Imagine if someone said, hey, Tyler, these are the subjects you have to listen to, and these are the podcasts you must listen to. Doesn't matter if you like them or not, if you're interested in them or not. This is what you have to do. That would drive me crazy.
And that's what school is. You're right.
Yeah, there should be more options. There's not enough teaching about how to actually make money. Everyone told me you got to go to school so you can make more money. And I showed up and I wasn't learning how to make money. And I think there's cool things to learn, but it's like I was interested in learning a lot more about how to make money, how to start a business and take care of my family. I didn't get a lot of that.
I'm with you. In fact, I firmly believe that every student should graduate from college having made $50,000 while they were there.
100%.
I think that should be like a bare minimum, and we should be teaching them how to do that as content creators, as small business owners, as real estate investors.
Totally.
And we should hang up this call and talk about our 17-year-olds for a minute, because I have a few thoughts for you.
My goal is not to like bash or bring down schools, but just be a sounding voice out there saying, there can be improvement. There can be change. What are the things that we can be doing? And I was complaining for years and years and years about all the things that they should do differently or somebody should do differently. So then I'm like, okay, what can I do differently to help be a part of the solution versus just talk about the problem? Okay, I love it. Appreciate you, man. We'll talk again soon. Sounds like we're going to talk right now. So, boom, baby. Let's give it up for my boy, Tyler Christensen. Tyler dropping the gold bombs every other second. I was like, oh, gold bomb, gold bomb, gold bomb. Tara was in here editing some of this episode, and afterwards she's like, dude, we didn't have our kids do that. That's something they could totally do. Just so cool. So cool. All the different ways that you can make money and improve your life and get free things and do cool stuff. I love it. Tyler's a stud. We totally connected, and I'm sure you will be hearing more from him in the future. But once again, thank you so much, Tyler, for coming on and sharing your knowledge with us. And we wish you all the best and all the success, especially with all those classes you get to teach this summer. Oh, I'm sorry. But those kids sure are lucky. To learn more about and or get in touch with Tyler, you can check out his website, tylerchristensen.com. And as I mentioned, we did happen to have a hot mic on after our call. So feel free to hang out for a few minutes after this episode for the bonus section. If you like this episode, please share it with a friend or multiple friends. Just text it out to your entire contact list. That would be amazing. Or just share the entire podcast with anyone you know. We would much appreciate it, and I'm sure they would as well. Other than that, get out there, take some action, do what it takes, one thing at a time. I was just talking to Tyson right now, my brother-in-law. He's getting juiced up about his business. When you take action, other opportunities present themselves. I won't get into the details right now, but there's so many different things that we're talking about, and it brings him hope and excitement for his future. And it's just so much fun for me to do this and to talk to people about these kinds of things. Tara tried to ban me earlier this week from committing to investing in everyone's businesses, but I think that's impossible because I'm just obsessed. I love it. I see opportunity everywhere. I see what's possible. I see what you guys are doing. And there's nothing I love more than seeing people take action and progress towards their dreams and improving their life. So let's do it. Hit that target. Do what it takes. You can do it. I believe in you. Believe in yourself. In our next class, we'll be teaching you how you can start your very own digital marketing agency. This is a strategy that I love and an episode you are not going to want to miss. But until then, I bid you farewell. Class dismissed.
I just want to share with you a few things because our 17-year-old's in the same position. He's a little older, so he has flexibility as far as when he goes on his mission and stuff like that. Because he'll actually turn 18 while he's still in high school. And so he has a lot of options. I'm sure similar to what you've done, our kids mow lawns. They've done lemonade stands. Yeah. They're hustlers. And they do more when we encourage it. So I just went with my 12-year-old and we went and watered a neighbor's lawn, garden, and took care of their chickens. And that's mostly me doing the work, right? Getting them there and setting up, doing the marketing, going around the neighborhood with flyers. But our 17-year-old, when he was 14, he really wanted to buy his own car. He mowed lawns. He earned up several $1,000s in one summer. That's awesome. Bought a 67 Mustang, fixed it up. And now he's to the point where he can flip it, sell it for $10,000 to $15,000, put down a down payment on a townhouse, have his roommates in college pay him rent. Yeah. And that's what his plan was. He wanted to have his housing taken care of before college. But we're thinking of, well, what do you do before a mission or before college, or if you go to college, because it's the same question. He's pretty committed to going to school. Yeah. He'll probably just stay here at home for his associates and then off to BYU or MIT or wherever for his bachelor's. But we were thinking maybe this is because of my own experience. When I went on my mission, I was like the worst companion ever because I'd never been around other people. It drove me nuts when people didn't keep the rules or wash their dishes. Yeah. And so I was kind of a jerk. And I thought for my son, it would be good just to move away from home. And now college is an easy way to do that, right? You go off to college for a semester. For sure. But he's not committed to college. And so we talked about, well, move to Alaska for a summer and be a tour guide or these other things. And I think those are the things that schools aren't teaching is how do we get out, get hands-on experience? Yeah. And then the other thing is, what are the most lucrative small businesses? It's the service-based businesses that have really easy startup, your plumbing, drywall, stuff like that, which is horrible, horrible labor. You don't want to be the one doing it. You want to be the one hiring the people who do it. Yeah. And I think that's where we're failing our kids in high school and into college is saying the best path for you is to get a PhD so you can be a miserable teacher like me and not get paid enough money instead of here's how you start your own business, have financial security by 30 so you can do whatever you want for the rest of your life.
Yes. And that's where I'm at 100%. It's hard. The school experience, I think, is great in a lot of ways. Elon Musk said you go to school to have fun and to prove you can do your homework. But I think a lot of people go to school, they get in a ton of debt, and then they feel handcuffed. And then they end up in their job and they don't love it. But they're like, well, here I am. And I have a family now.
My take on that's slightly different. I think you go to college because then you surround yourself with people who are moving forward in their lives and doing something. You start a business on your own, it's harder to have that environment.
100%. So I've made a list of, I don't have it like sitting here like in my mind, but of all the pros and all the cons of college versus not. And it's like, how do you combine these? So for me, I absolutely want my kids to be around other people who are moving forward in life, whether that's they're in the college environment or like, I'm sure there are other things out there like what I want to start, but I haven't seen it just in the way that I think it should be done. Where it is kind of like a college, but in this college, you may not get, the paper that says you graduated, but you mentioned by the time they graduate, they make $50,000. Well, let's say it's $30,000 to go to this school that I'm thinking about making. Maybe you could come be a teacher. That'd be awesome. So it's $30,000 to a year, but you'll never really have to pay that because the idea is from day one, you start making money. Now, for some people, we might say work for us. We'll give you a job. For some people, it might be, okay, go get a part-time job doing this thing that you might want to go in that direction anyway. For other people, it might be, what can you start now to start making money? But the whole idea is you spend $30,000 in a year. The first year, you make more money than you spend. Then the second year, you start to use more leverage and you start making as much money as people make when they graduate college. And then by the third year, you have a pretty successful business. And the cool thing is, if you want to change up your business, change it up. We're here to support you with that, right? Anyway, and they read like business books, and not only business books, but like self-development, like all these things. Anyway, go ahead.
I've had the same exact thought, and that's I bought the domain Creator Economy University, thinking that I want my students to learn how to start being content creators now, creating YouTube channels, podcasts, things like that. Things that do take a while to build up a following. And so if you start as a freshman, create your own channel. By the time you graduate, that should be monetized. You should be making steady income. And I saw this as a sports writer as well. When I first started writing about BYU football, I've never played football before. I have no experience there, but I love BYU football. And so one day I was talking to my students. I was at the University of Wisconsin, and I was talking to my students about everyone should be blogging. And they're like, well, what are you blogging about? And I was like, well, nothing right now. They're like, well, what are you passionate about? And I'm like, football. Totally. And so they challenged me to create a blog. Awesome. I did. And I stuck with it for a year. And by the end of the year, Deseret News asked me to write for them.
Oh, awesome.
Other blogs asked me to write. And so then I started getting media passes. I started getting invited onto the radio, and I monetized my blog and made thousands of dollars. Not a ton of money for the amount of time I put into it. Totally not worth it. Yeah. But to have relationships, to be involved with BYU football, for me, that's been a fun little thing on the side. I'm going to be on the radio Thursday, just talking about recruiting, and it's cool to stay involved. But again, that takes several years. And I think if all of our students were learning how to do that from day one, how to come up with hook, how to have a good thumbnail, how to do all those things that we're working on, it's life-changing. You know,
everything you're talking about is how, like, I've written up like a curriculum for what this school would look like. And I'm trying to kind of create that online a little bit, but it's not the same as being in person. But I've come up with this like curriculum where it's like, here's the subjects you're going to learn. We're going to bring in experts to talk about those things. We're going to have you do them, but come in with what's the business or the idea that you want to start. We're going to have
with
you do all these
accountability
things.
Partners.
Totally. Yeah, absolutely. We're going to have you do all these things you earn as you learn. When I went to school and they gave me a project that like had nothing to do with what I wanted to do or didn't really have any meaning to me, it felt like busy work a lot. I would say like a small percentage of the time, I'm like, okay, boom. So a lot of people are like, oh, go to school and you do get some things out of it, but I want to like maximize. I was rare, you know, I was very motivated to like go out and make money and make things happen. I mean,
well, and I like on your show, you've talked several times about how you don't fail, you just learn. Yeah. And it's interesting because in some of my side hustles, the coolest project I've ever done probably in my whole life was a complete failure, right? Mm-hmm. So I was doing websites for celebrities. And have you ever seen the TV show Psych?
I know I've heard of it. I'm sure I've seen it.
So one of the characters on Psych became a close friend of mine. I built him a website and then we continued to work. And we decided to create a convention, a Psych Con, where people came on. It's like a murder mystery thing. And people would come on and this would transform the whole industry of conventions. Where you'd come in, you'd take a more active role and you would solve a murder. Ralph Macchio was going to come on as the bad guy. And we had it all set up. And then it got blackballed by the director of the show.
No way.
And totally fell apart. And I'd put hundreds of hours into this. We rented the convention space. And it was so frustrating. But that experience was so valuable to me. I made $0 off it.
Totally.
But I spent hundreds of hours thinking through how to start a business, how to run a business. Totally. And if I could have done that as a college student, life-changing.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Don't get me wrong. And if there are kids who would be flipping burgers or like struggling in life and they're in the ghetto and they get the opportunity to go to college, that's huge, right? Just like anything in life, it could be so much better if there were more options of entrepreneurship and how to make money and actually making money while you go to college and graduate. The whole thing is graduate rich, not broke. And when I say rich, it means rich with knowledge and experience, and you don't feel like you just did busy work. You went after your dream. Now, if you have a family, you're like, hey, I can take this risk because I'm confident in it. Or I'm already making money, so I don't have the golden handcuffs. I don't have a pile of debt.
I'm totally on board. I'll be following your journey here because that sounds so cool.
I love it. Are you going to ask you a question real quick? If you could snap your fingers tomorrow and you could be making whatever, $250,000 running your businesses, would you still teach, you think? Or do you think you would use that opportunity to teach in different ways or what?
No, my dream lifestyle where we travel the world, give generously to others, and still feel valuable, serve in church callings and do stuff. I'm living that right now, so I don't have any reason to change that. I'm actually a really good teacher.
I could tell.
And I love being in class. Even with online right now, I'm only teaching online, and it's frustrating because it's more the busy work, the grading and stuff like that. Yeah. I don't love that. Although I love the opportunity to work through that and be like, well, how can I be the best online teacher? And so I'm doing a lot more videos and things that are interactive. So I like the challenge of that. I would probably scale back a little. So instead of teaching a full load, I'd just adjunct and teach 2 classes. Yeah. But I don't know if I'll ever quit teaching completely. The biggest change I would make if I could is I'd replace a little bit of my teaching with public speaking. I'd love to travel more and do big stages. I feel alive on the stage. So
let's stay in touch. If Millionaire University gets to the point where we're bringing it right now, we're just creating content and trying to grow an audience, But if it gets to a point where it's bringing in a lot of revenue, I'm a systems guy. Like, I don't even see me ultimately as being the face of it. I see it as being a big brand that I'll probably always be a part of in less than 10 years. I want to do something else and I've created the thing I want to create and I sell it or whatever. Right. But over time, I would want to have more like people helping interview other people. So anyway, you never know. Maybe there's an opportunity there if that's ever. Anyway, but we'll that's down the road. So.
Right. So I just learned I hadn't listened to any of your new podcast episode till today because I was going back through in order.
Wait,
but then I listened to Dave.
Say that again. You cut out for a second. You haven't listened to any what?
So your podcast, I hadn't listened to any of the newer episodes because I was trying to go from episode 1 on up. Mm-hmm. But today I listened to your most recent, the Memorial Day one, and you mentioned that you're moving. You said that in your email as well. Are you moving just to downsize, or are you looking for new neighborhoods? What's the impetus for the move?
So we moved 10 years ago. We moved to San Clemente, closer to the beach, and I remember like we were trying to buy a house. It was like $500,000. We're like, oh, 700, 800. Then it's like $1 million house. We're like, oh my god, I can't believe I'm buying $1 million house. What's crazy, right? And then we lived there for 8 years. Sold our other business. I invested in Bitcoin early on. I did pretty good there. Had some different things going on, and whenever people come visit us in San Clemente, like they didn't have a whole lot of room to stay. And our kids, we always wanted to pool growing up. So we're like, oh, maybe we'll look at some other options. We didn't really find it in San Clemente, but then looking in San Diego, we just found this area, Rancho Santa Fe, that we fell in love with. And so the houses there that were like $4 or $5 million. So we could afford it if we sold some investments and based on selling our business, getting a small loan. So anyway, we ended up buying a house. We just fell in love with it. $5 million house. And it's been awesome, but it's also been like, we're kind of managing a resort for other people to come stay at every once in a while, which is fun, right? Yeah. Like, and that's why I'm saying to you, like, if we're going to be here longer, and my brother-in-law, he moved in a couple months ago. So I did the interview with him the time before the last episode, and that's a long one, by the way. It might be a little interesting, but it's been fun. But it's like, okay, people come stay with us, I don't know, on average, probably about 8 times per year, right? Which is super fun. But then it's like, okay, we're basically like running a resort for other people to come stay at. And we can't find our kids half the time because the house is too big. I mean, the expenses are just insane. It's like $1,500 a month just for gardening. And we have 4 AC units. So it's like, it's kind of like this dream come true. But what's cool about that is it also made us realize, like, we go on vacation, we stay in 1,000 square foot place, and we're closer to our kids. Like, this is just as good. Plus, it's gone up, like, now it's worth like $7 million. So we're like, shoot,
good time.
So we're going to go travel. So we're like, would we rather travel? It was cheaper for us to travel than it is to maintain the house we currently live in.
Right.
So like, we can go travel. We can just, I don't know. So it's been fun. But
and you're going to homeschool your kids then for a year?
Yeah, they're old enough to kind of do their own thing. In addition to that, we'll probably have them do my son, he's going to test out of his senior year. So he'll we're just going to be doing like self-development, business growth. He'll be working with us a little bit, earning some money for his mission. Our other kids will do homeschool. Yeah. Like the goal is like 2 hours, 3 hours a day of homeschool. And then every week, I'm like listen to self-development books and kind of help us in the business a little bit, but also learning by traveling and exploring the world and cultures and people and all that.
Are you going to have a travel channel for YouTube?
Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. Whatever they want to do. Me personally, I try to keep things really simple because it's really easy as an entrepreneur to do like 10 things. And then all of a sudden you're like, wait, the fun and excitement is no longer fun and exciting because I'm documenting all this stuff, but I'm not enjoying it as much. So we'll definitely incorporate some of that into the show as we're traveling. And our kids, like, as they take on, like, try out different things, they might do some of that. So we've thought about that. I just don't know. I love traveling. I'm not as passionate about documenting that as I am talking about business and growth and seeing people make money. And anyway, but yeah, that could be incorporated somehow. Yeah. So
cool.
Anyway.
Well, that sounds fun.
All right, Tyler.
All right. Well, it was nice to meet you, Justin.
Yeah, let's stay in touch for sure.
And if you ever want to talk again, I love being. I haven't done podcasts for a while. So
I love it, man.
It's
in
fun to hop on.
In a few weeks, let's maybe connect and what we were talking about with kids, right? Like, anyway, there's all kinds of stuff we can talk about. So.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, thanks, Ty. We'll talk to you soon.
Cool.
Okay.
All right, keep up the good work. See ya.